Well, looks like we got no chat today. Doesn't seem to want to play nice with Sway's window selection, and I don't feel like figuring it out right now. Alright, I have probably an hour today, so let's get this started fast. We're gonna go through and look at the Doha Grand Prix, and hey, look, that's me. Take a look at Sakloshi and she's journey through the tournament. Words are coming out very slowly today. I have coffee. I'm just waiting for it to kick in. And also drink it. Okay. Looks. That's Sakloshi in the 64 versus Murayama. I'll start there. Oh, that's what's happening. And I'm not plugged in. There we go. I am awake and alert and ready for things to happen. All right. I beat Murayama in Paris last year in pools, not in DEs. I didn't make DEs. But he is the best fencer I've ever beaten, and so I'm super proud of myself for that. And let's get started. Grigori Sakloshi, of course, needs no introduction. He is one of the greatest fencers of the modern era. Says we're not hearing anything. I'm not hearing anything. There we go. Hope this is a good rate for you. Sakloshi, of course, known for, at least I know him for extremely precise hand, capable of getting arm and wrist counters where everybody else would have to go for the body and settle for a double. Murayama was very clean, but I think a little bit too eager. But of course, he gives Sakloshi a lot more respect than I do, so. Good counter there from Murayama. A lot of neutral stuff so far. Little steps in, little step in. Double there. Good double from Sakloshi. That was a pretty solid 8 from Murayama. And then a really nice 3-ish kind of a thing from Sakloshi to get around it. Just one of those super precise blade actions he's so good at. Murayama pushing a little bit more now. Sakloshi absorbing the pressure, not applying much of his own. You can see that because every time Murayama comes forward, Sakloshi backs up, and then, well, less so now, but he was retreating. Ooh, good one there, just taking the blade. Big blade pressure first, takes it in 6, waits for the disengage, and then hits. Ooh, solid wrist pick there. So this bout should honestly go pretty solidly to Sakloshi. And really we're just going to see him keep solid fundamentals and not push too hard. I think that's a lot of what this absorbing pressure is. He's waiting for Moriyama to mess up or lose focus or something. And then push back himself, but only very occasionally. But when Sakloshi pushes, he's really pushing. Ooh, good touch there. Moriyama's pushing and pushing and pushing and establishing a rhythm there. And Sakloshi tries to attack into it, but perfect timing for Moriyama to just not go. One of the early things you can tell so far in this bout is that Moriyama is just working a lot harder than Sakloshi is. Even though it's close right now, Moriyama's got to put in a lot more effort to keep it that way. One minute break. Pretty even so far. I'd like to see Moriyama be a little bit less active. He's jumping back a lot and it doesn't really do anything for him. That's all we really got so far. Okay, now Sakloshi is starting to take the space that Moriyama gives him. You can see that it's already getting a lot more active, a lot more blade contact, a lot more medium attempts to hit. We're in the first period, and especially the first minute of the first period, we saw a lot more soft attempts to hit. Moriyama takes a moment to reset, starts pushing a little bit harder. Very close to turn to the back, but a good preem from Sakloshi. Ooh, just a little bit too close for Moriyama. And another phenomenal wrist touch. You can kind of see what Moriyama wants here is to pull Sakloshi and try to get a counterattack out of him. But Sakloshi is not giving it to him, and so Moriyama wants to get closer and closer and closer until he can launch an attack. And Sakloshi is just finding that perfect moment, especially on that last counterattack. Another one again. Same kind of a deal. Just a little bit too close and then a little poke on the hand. Now Murayama's in a pickle because he's got to make a 4. Ooh, good one there. Breaking the forward back pattern by staying forward. Picks off Sakloshi's hand when he goes for the 4. Wonder what we'll see Murayama change though. He's still got a long way to go. Okay. He's not giving as much ground this time. And he gets a double out of it, which is kind of nothing done, but it's better than a single. What you can see here is that Murayama is not giving as much ground. He's pushing in and then staying. And that's getting a better trigger from Sakloshi in terms of what Murayama can deal with. But it's only been a couple of touches, so we'll see how Sakloshi responds. And into the second. So far, a very quiet game from Sakloshi. He's just hanging around and taking advantage of the opportunities that Murayama gives him, which are not big opportunities. You can see those just those little hand picks, but he's so good at them. Much more active there. Yeah. So that's kind of a weird one because as you get one action and it's such a long delay. But Sakloshi's first attempt, he just waited a while for it. So I think Sakloshi there is taking ground, not to pressure Murayama, but to give himself more space to retreat into. You see how far he's back already because he knows Murayama wants to push. Clean counter there. That was probably on the arm, not the body. Same kind of thing we talked about at the beginning, where your Sakloshi can get those arm hits where nobody else can. Ooh, a good one there from Murayama, but you know, the occasional opportunistic wrist shot is not going to give him the win. Although now we got 2 in a row. And a high-low there from Murayama. Double is really good for Sakloshi at this point. Because the ratio of touches that Murayama has to get just gets worse and worse. Yeah, Murayama's still looking for that that over the top 6 into the arm, and Sakloshi's just not giving it to him until he gets it. Until Sakloshi's ready for it. And then of course it goes to Sakloshi. Trying to get fancy at the end, but 14-9 on somebody of Sakloshi's level, that's pretty over. You see? Big pressure from Murayama, so Sakloshi just absorbs it, and then waits and waits and waits till he gets a good opportunity. Alright, that was a 64. I go up to the 32, which is against Semenenko, one of the Russian fencers who's technically not Russian, but kind of really is Russian. I don't even know this guy, so I guess it's been 3-4 years since the so it's reasonable that a new generation of Russians has come up. And of course, now that they know what the rules are, they can make sure they're not officially affiliated with the military or anything. Although I would frankly be shocked if they, at least unofficially, weren't paid by the military, or the equivalent source of funding, less just not officially affiliated. Got a really long lanky guy. He's got different colored socks on. He's Belarusian. Could be. I forgot Belarus had fencers and also was banned. Anyway, long lanky guy. Hand far out, which is a little bit old-fashioned. It's not quite the Koch level full extension, but it's not where you normally see it, which is all the way back. Anyway, Max, welcome to the channel. Hope you're enjoying. Always nice to see new faces and have people commenting. Seems just also a little bit stiff. Koshi going in and out and in and out. A lot more active here than he was against Mariam. I think because he's probably less familiar with him. Very active tape from Semenenka, pulling it down into 8 in absence and then back into Kloshi's face, just keeping him far away, which is a good thing to do when you're tall because it helps keep the distance at something you're comfortable with, not what your opponent is. Wow, that was a phenomenal flesh. What was that? That was a wow. That was like a beat flesh, but from so far away, Semenenka missed the counter, and then Sokloshi hit him. That was really cool. Ooh, good touch there. Sokloshi kind of just drawing Semenenka in to take 6 and hit. What I think is happening, if I can get a word in edgewise over Sokloshi just racking up the touches. See, beginning he was confused. Now he's got 3 in 10 seconds. This belt's on lock. I think he's figured out that Semenenka's extension isn't much of a threat, really. Like that's a wild touch, and Semenenka's really off balance when he does that. So I think Sokloshi is just not respecting his threat and coming in closer and closer every time Semenenka throws his tip up, and then he can take the blade or flesh or something. I'm a little bit surprised he made the 32. I wonder who he beat. Semenenka does not look like the strongest fencer. Some awkward movement here and there. fast forward shortly. Okay, Mark Semenenko, 21. Oh my god, he's a baby. Okay, whatever. He's a baby. He's really, like, he's so little. Timothy Sim, who I have also. Tristan Tulin, 15-8. What on earth happened in Doha? That's very surprising. Tulin is very good. Maybe he got tilted or something. Another one there for Sakloshi, bring it back up to 6. Yeah, it's just does not seem like much of a threat for Sakloshi. Is Semenenko's counterattacks. He's just a little bit awkward. See, if you look at this, this is not a position you'd really ever want to be in on the fencing piece. It's even worse when you look at it like this. And so this is what Sakloshi is saying. It is not representing it as a threat. Or respecting it as a threat, I should say. Sorry for putting someone on blast like that, but this is the 32s of a World Cup, and that's just what happens when you get to this level. Classic criticism, start with the arm extended. Hi Sean, welcome to the stream. Always nice to see a new face. I don't sure what you mean. Should Semenenko be starting his lunge with an extended arm? Is that what you're saying? I'm mostly looking at the feet. If you noticed how far he was tilted over, he was like totally teapotting. And that's just not a position you want to be in. He's pretty much extended already. Like his basic prep is an extension. And so he's just going out from there. Like this is a pretty close extension already. I want to say no, it's not that. It's not the extended arm. He's being surprised by Sakloshi, and when he gets surprised, he loses his footwork. He loses his on guard, and that's what his big problem is. Like he's extending and going, but he doesn't have any range on his lunge because he keeps tilting forward like that. And so Sakloshi's just getting out of the way. I don't think he needs to be extending earlier. The timing is just fundamentally not there. When he is extending, Sakloshi is always ready with a parry. Like his preps are not, Semenenko's preps are not getting any respect. And so when he tries to attack out of them, Sakloshi is ready for it. Even Murayama in the last bout, his preps are getting some respect because he was occasionally able to pick off the wrist. And here, Semenenko just can't do anything. That was good. But that's like way too little, way too late. Now we're going to go to the period. Yeah. At a certain level, or at every level, you kind of get skill checked. And if you don't have the base technical skill to keep up with your opponents, and I say that, and this guy beat Tristan Tulin, who's no slouch himself. And I'm not sure what happened there. If I have extra time, maybe I'll go watch it. But if you just get skill checked, and if you can't make a credible threat because your opponent knows they can deal with it, if you can't make a credible lunge because your opponent knows they can just get out of the way, then there's nothing you can do. You have to go back and train more. And if you can skill check somebody, that's great, because you don't have to, like that was just pure skill check. So Kloshi's like, I'm just going to stick my arm out. You can't take my blade, and then I'll just hit you. Because now Sakloshi doesn't have to think. He can just do stuff. And in a long tournament like this, or the Lesso for Sakloshi, mental fatigue is way more important than physical fatigue. Well, that was really easy for Sakloshi. Oh, cute mustache. When you have to start thinking and trying and risking, it's much, much harder, just in terms of your brain. This will be a better bout. The Olympic tragedy of Alexandre Bardenet, who was forcibly removed from the French Olympic team, basically as a power move by the French Federation. See, that's a... Bardenet is so clean. He's so upright and smooth with his movement. It's very nice to watch. Ooh, that was phenomenal. All right, so look at this. Look what Bardenet does, and look how Sakloshi responds. Bardenet comes back. Just this little tiny prep and forward that Bardenet does. It's just a little bit. And Sakloshi is responding and taking a 6. And that's the respect that I'm talking about that Semenenko just didn't get. And that's why it was so hard for Semenenko. Bardenet is much better than Semenenko. And so he gets that respect on the wrist shot, and that gives him the toe shot. And landed flat? I don't know, we're off screen. What it looked like is that it landed flat, and then just hurts when it lands flat on your thumb. Good one from Sakloshi. Now kind of random, just a little bit better with the blade. Bardenet really wants that foot. Ooh, good flesh. So if you see before in the Murayama bout, something like that happened, Sakloshi took the 4 hit. Here, Bardenet, much better blade work than Murayama, gets the touch himself instead. There's just a higher level, and you can't, like, he's not getting skill checked in any sense. If you imagine a balloon, I heard this from, ooh, good touch there. Just a little bit too close from Bardenay, not quite ready for it. I heard this from Delia Turner, who's a phenomenal, I'm not sure if she's still fencing, but she's a vet women's saber, multiple time world champion. If you imagine a balloon between the two fencers, and that's the distance, and the closer they are, the more it gets compressed. That's kind of what's happening here. As you can see them push and then release the pressure, and push and then release the pressure. And they're both kind of doing it, going back and forth. And this is really the whole game, is just seeing who can get a better step in at the right time. Really, really good duck from Sakoshi. I think Bardenay was a little bit earlier there, but he just missed over the shoulder. Halt for something, and then Bardenay thinks he got it afterwards, so closely doesn't, but that's just what happens. No touch. Yeah, it was halt and then hit. And then a couple of actions and then the hit. Ooh, goes for the foot. So Koshi sees it coming, flushes. Bardenay barely comes back into 6. I don't know. I'm not sure what he's seeing with that foot. If he's just trying to avoid the high line that Sakushi's so good in. But he really wants that shot. And to be fair, he's gotten one and gotten hit none on it. So it's not the worst move. Bardenay pulls. Bardenay pushes. Sakushi half extends. Out for non-combativity with 7 seconds left. Isn't that fun? Isn't that great? Isn't that worth doing? Straight attack from Sakoshi with 3 seconds left. Not sure. I think Bardenay was like checked out already a little bit. Two points up in the second period. Bardenay starting to push a little bit more. That was almost it. Bardenay just surprised by Sakoshi's reaction. And another arm hit, I think, from Sakoshi. Where it should have been a double, but Sakoshi got the arm instead, and so got the blockout. Oof. What a pretty wrist touch. So Bardenay is getting reactions from Sakoshi, but he just can't make anything of them. And that's really what he's got to figure out, is how to capitalize on these opportunities. Sakoshi is just far enough away that if he's able to do it himself, And now Bardenay is really struggling. Yep, there it is again. Sakoshi's is just not quite letting Bardenay in close, and now he's starting to panic. So this has so far been a really easy tournament for Sakoshi into the 16. Like you can see, he's working a lot harder here than he was in the other one. And that's a couple of doubles Bardenay has pulled off, so he's getting the distance better. But it's still, you know, 10-4. This is not an a close fought match. Sakoshi is solidly in control. There's the foot again from Bardenay. He's going a little bit deeper with it. Sakoshi's jumping on it, and so Bardenay is now reading the jump, or read the jump and went all the way back into it. I wonder if now if he's going to try to draw the 6. I think that's what that was. Draw, not the 6, sorry. Draw the counter flush into a 6. Go low, draw the counter flush, take 6, and go. Like that. Except hit it. Ooh, another one to the foot. So Bardenay has 6 touches. At least 2 of them are doubles. At least 3 of them are foot touches. That's crazy. The foot's supposed to be like short target, but Bardenay is going hand-foot really, really, really well. And now it's 6-4. 10-4. 10-6. I know numbers. He's the best at that. I believe it. He's really good. See what we get now. Sakoshi jumping a little bit less. Bardenay maybe getting a little bit in closer. It's interesting because you keep thinking, oh no! Oh, that was Bardenay's. Oh my god, that was huge. That was clutch. Anyway, you'd think Bardenay would go going for the foot. Sakoshi pulls his foot up and jumps back. Bardenay can continue, but he's actually so committed to the foot touch. Oof. It's a little bit surprising from Bardenay. I don't know if he's just not quite ready for the counter or what. But Sakoshi got a bunch of those. I mean, Bardenay is so committed to the foot he can't continue to the body, even though Sakoshi is totally off balance. There we go. There's it. There's the hit. You can see that was so really close. It was like 6 counter. Sakoshi went immediately into preem, and Bardenay had to take 8 and then barely got it on. Oh, there it is. Too much for the foot, not enough for the... Too close. Sakoshi didn't go back, just pulled his foot up and hit the counter. That was a gift. That was Sakoshi saying, well, you know, maybe I can just end this now. And there it is. All right, 9. Not bad. Not bad. That's a 16. Here we go, Chimini. Wanted to put himself, maybe. I don't even know. I don't think it was even really going for the foot. He's going for like the thigh or something. It's such an easy 8. All right, we go from a very staid, upright Frenchman to a very Italian. Actually, maybe not. If you're not in the fencing Reddit Discord, I posted about Cimini versus Imrek, which I thought was really interesting. Cimini basically fenced Imrek with exact extended arm I said Semenenko shouldn't be using, because Imrek he's really, really good at attacking into an extension and hitting your wrist from like a full extension himself. So Cimini kept an extended arm and just completely nerfed that. And it was really interesting to watch. And Imrek did okay, but he really struggled to deal with it. Lot of doubles. Okay, now that we're 4 bouts in watching Sakloshi, he just really doesn't like, oh my god, taking space. You push him, he'll go back, he'll reset to where he was, but when his opponent goes back, he doesn't retake the space. We just missed a really phenomenal extended 6 advanced lunge from Sakloshi. Advanced 6 lunge, whatever it was. Like, see, he's here, goes back to where he is, about a step behind the on-guard line. So, and then Cimini pulls a lot, and Sakloshi goes forward a little bit. As we saw from the first touch, his range is phenomenal. And so that's why he's willing to give that much space and make his opponents work at getting in close. But when he does that, they do that and they're focused on pushing and pushing. It's a lot of opportunities for an attack and prep. And he's got the blade work to do those extended sequences. Of course, here Cimini is with an extended arm again, so... Yeah, that's a touch Imrek couldn't hit in their bout. A lot of bouncing around. Not sure what Cimini is really looking for here. He's not really getting close enough to make a threat. He's not really pushing. He's not really... Cimini is really moving across the width of the pist. You know, that's a good point. He's fucking around with angles like that. I didn't even notice. And I kind of almost worked for him. Good touch there. That was one of those counters that Bardine was missing. Over the top into Sakloshi's flesh. Which is a nice thing you get with an extended arm, is those kind of counters are really easy because you're already there. That was weird. Just tapping on the back of his foot. Okay, end of the first period, 3-1, basically 0-0. I think Cimini wants that attack and prep from Sakloshi. And then he's going to counter it like he did that one touch. I think that's just what his whole game plan is. He must have gone on with the angles to give Sakloshi stuff to think about. Like, the Italians are known for just doing a lot of nonsense on strip. So you think about the nonsense instead of their actually good fencing. He's jumping back into that extended back leg stance as if he's prepping to flesh, but nothing comes off it. Maybe I'm just reacting to his nonsense. Let's see. Oh, good punish from Sakloshi. Could have almost been free shot for Cimini, but Sakloshi just got all that foot touch practice against Bardene, so he's totally ready for the punish there. I don't think he's prepping to flesh. I think he's just going back and seeing that Sakloshi isn't coming with him, and so it's just an easy reset for him. He's just back, back, back. Okay, now I'm going forward again. I think that's all it is. Like, he's just miles and miles out of distance for a flush, though. Also, you don't want to wind up a flush like that. You want to just go because you don't have a lot of time. And the more time you spend winding up, the more time your opponent has to react. Oh, wow. That was Cimini's 100%. Hey, Levy, you made it. Cimini's 100%. And Sakloshi pulls a double out of nowhere. That's why he's so hard to fence. Even when you lose the touch, you still don't win. I think Sakloshi's coach noticed all the strip movement, the lateral movement from Cimini, and has told Sakloshi, because now Sakloshi is doing a better job of matching it. Nope, still not good enough. Italian try not to fence weird challenge. We got so many new people in the stream today. This is so cool. For Italians, weird is a virtue. The French say, why would you ever do anything other than hit your opponent? And the Italians are like, if you're not being weird with it, is it even worth doing? Pardon, Cimini's getting so close and just a little bit wild. There it is. Sakloshi said, why didn't you just go and hit him? And Cimini's just pushing a little bit too much. Alright, 7-3 as we wind down the second period. Sakloshi's found something. Those last two... Oh, but he can't quite get the point on. I hate it when that happens when you're getting close and you're so ready for it, but you're like tensed up and out of position, so all you can do is stick your arm out and wave. I do that way too much. Yeah, oh come on, I feel like it. That was so much Cimini's touch. But he's got something. He's getting a lot more panicky reactions out of Sakloshi now than he did previously. And really than anybody else has done. Sakloshi going for that last second touch again. Nothing done. Ooh. Like, based on what I'm hearing from the blade contact, Chimini took the 4, and Sakloshi just went around it. Faster than Chimini could riposte. This is why you always step backwards with the parry. Oh, another one that Chimini should have had. Just can't get his tip on today. Whenever this tournament was, wherever it was during the day. Yeah, a lot of panicky stuff from Sakloshi, but Chimini is so much at his limit trying to keep up with it. He just can't get the precision he needs for a touch. There it is, just barely though. Sakloshi is kind of really looking for a parry. He doesn't want to move forward without the blade when his Chimini is extended. And so Chimini is doing disengage, disengage, disengage. And keeping him in place and then going somewhere with it. But Sakloshi is waiting for the blade. And that's why Chimini is having so much trouble actually finishing it. Because Sakloshi is not doing anything, which is giving Chimini lots of time to play. But like when Chimini commits, Sakloshi is kind of ready for it. But he's getting close enough to actually make him work, which is where these touches are coming from. Should be 7-8. 7-9, 7-8. Should be 7. Just totally extended arm. Which is a very different extended arm from Koch's extended arm, which is a defensive maneuver. Here he's doing it offensively. 6-11. Touche, touche. It looks like mentally he's already given up a little. I don't know that he's given up or just very frustrated at missing all those actions. You don't get to this level by giving up this easily. 7-11 is 100% doable. 6-11 a little harder, but you know he got that 7th, didn't give up. Oof. I think he's just tired. Maybe he's a little hurt. Like he's just so tense when you wouldn't expect that from a fencer of that level. Something's not 100% with him, I don't think. It looks like he's fencing like I do when I'm exhausted. Did Chimini fence through pools? Yeah. He's not setting up anymore. Now he's given up. If he's not just wiped or tired. He's, because he's not, he's not setting up, he's not being patient is what I want to say. Yeah. So he had to fence his way through the big tableau. He might just be tired. 15-11, 15-12, Francisco Lamarda, that's not an easy bout. He might just be tired. Oh Hai Wang, Soma Samodi, Sam Imrek, to Sakloshi. So you don't normally expect pro fencers to get tired that easily, but that's a lot of fencing, and if he's already kind of hurt, I can see it being a problem. Finals are on the FIE channel. I knew that. Madagascar versus
2012.
I'm trying to keep this at the perfect level where we get enough blade contact to sound normal and no David King.
At the age of
See if I got there.
Is 16. He's facing off against world number 2, Gergely Siklosi, who's 27. 3 World Cup goals. He won Doha.
Siklosi looks as fresh as a daisy. He's moving exactly the same way he did in the other bouts. But he's honestly very
that are fencing right now.
economical in his movement. He's not wasting a lot of energy. He's not doing crazy stunts. He's not waving his arm around like crazy. He's not doing lots and lots of forward and back. He's very Stonewally today.
Lamardo took out Zsombor Castelli of Hungary, and Siklosi defeated Gabriele Cimini.
All right, and we're going to the non-combativity first. Barely. Bye, Max. Thanks for tuning in. Hope to see you around more often.
16, Siklosi defeated Alexander Bardnay of France. And in a crazy match, Ruben Lamardo defeated Mohamed El Sayed of Egypt.
So here we go, a more modernish style from Lamardo Gascon with his arm back like Siklosi's is. And doing a lot of extension to preps. And so we got this really fun game of chicken where you do an extension, then I do extension, then you do an extension, and then we reset as we both get closer and closer. Almost from Siklosi. Phenomenal jump back from Lamardo Gascon. Ref 2 seconds late on the call.
Okay, well, it's not up on the board. First, they had a passivity call, and I'm looking at the clock, and I'm going, he puts his hand up at 1 minute. Okay, so now we've got both passivity cards, and each fencer will get 1 point on the scoreboard.
The score is wrong. It should be 1-1. I wonder if they're going to fix it. That's new. We've never seen a 4 flick from Siklosi this bout. And there he goes. So Lamardo Gascon is a very different fencer than anybody else we've seen fencing Siklosi. That's Supreme. Okay. 6 counter, prime counter, really, really good movement. Where Lamardo Gascon is also a very Stonewally fencer. And so it's a lot of, oh, there you go, they finally added the non-combativity scores.
To get the hit. Okay, so now the score is correct.
And so it's a lot of, much more of a game of chicken and bouncing back and forth. We saw this a little bit. Ooh, that was really nice. Saw this a little bit in the Bardnay bout, but then Siklosi ran up the score so fast and Bardnay had to push. We didn't see any of this equal chicken.
2 passivity calls in the first 3 minutes, and 2 solo hits. So we start our second 3-minute period here in Doha.
The Lamardos, of course, the first family of fencing in Venezuela. Jesus, Ruben, and a third one whose name escapes me. And then Gribio Lugo have been in the team for a long time. I think it's like two brothers and a cousin or something. They don't train in Venezuela, they train in Poland. They used to train in Poland, I think. Can't remember. Just poke, 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 poke. Oof. Amato takes the 6. And then, so closely, let's, I think, coupes, or maybe just keeps his tip on target as Lamardo lets go of the parry or get his third. One thing to look for when you're trying to see what kind of a reaction you're getting at this high level is how much of their body moves when they parry. That was a good prep from Sokoloshi because you got a lot of movement from Lamardo Gascon. The other parries, you get just blade movement, trying to take it. And you get the reaction, but it's not a good reaction to continue with because their blade movement is almost as fast as yours.
Into the leg of Ruben Lamardo.
If you can get them to jump, any kind of a body commitment, much slower and harder to deal with. And that's when you want to go. Oh! Ruben left his hand out just moments too long. Perfect flick. And he doesn't even realize it. I got a shoe emergency. It's probably him collecting himself. Important thing to note when you're going for a hand shot is you have to continue fencing after the hand shot. You poke at the hand, you finish your action, and then you keep fencing, hit or no hit. Don't wait to see if you hit or not. And I'm mostly talking to myself when I say this. It's a big problem I have. We got 5-2, and somehow Sokoloshi's got himself another really solid lead. That preem is putting in a shift. That's 6 immediately into preem. And then Lamardo is caught on top of it and misses his counter. And then doesn't have blade control and doesn't have a good angle because his blade has been knocked to his inside. Which is hard to do against a lefty because the 6 is so natural. So Sokoloshi is pulling it very late at the perfect time.
The clock's winding down now to end our second period.
Like if you take the preem, you cover your inside as a righty, but if you're fencing a lefty, the blade is on the outside of you naturally. So it's not a natural touch to get. And it only really works here because it's 6. Maybe it's the initial pressure of the 6 is pulling him out. Maybe he's just doing a sweep with it to collect the blade. Like he's doing 6, pushes Lamardo's blade out. Lamardo is pushing.
Lamardo is a very gutsy fencer.
So the counter pressure from Lamardo is inside, and that gives him a chance to take the 6. You think Levy says he thinks it's a lot more likely to work in lefty righty because you can push the blade farther across their body. Yes, but like when you take a preem, the whole point of the preem kind of is you've got this vertical line totally shutting it off. So it doesn't really matter how far you push the blade.
Here he comes.
but it's just a lot less. It's just a lot less likely to be there. Is my point. I guess if you can catch it, it's better. Because then you have, like,
Final period.
against a righty, if you take preem, they're a lot more likely to go around. But even as a lefty, you can do a 4. You can, like, you know, they take preem, I go this way, I come in like this. Come in like this. It's all doable. It's just harder, I think, to catch it. I will say, when I was second or third year of fencing, I fenced a kid whose entire game plan was 6 preem. And it did not, oh my God. Another one who is just a little bit ahead of the game and they think he's going to get countered and he just doesn't. The whole game was 6 preem and it didn't work on me as a lefty because he took 6 and then took preem and my blade just fell off.
And you don't really do anything, you're going to get counterattacked.
Oh, that flag, so pretty.
Steps in, beats the blade.
Yeah, you have to do a good coupe to get out of it,
Bang.
but you can go around it, and then it's just also like it's harder to catch it. Like if you get caught, it's hard to get out of, but it's harder to get caught. We got 8-2 somehow, just off consistent slight advantages from Sokoloshi.
Double.
What you can do against the same-handed fencer, if they take you in preem, is drop into 3. So they catch you like this, and then you go like this, and all of a sudden you're free. And it only works like lefty, lefty, righty, righty, but it's so cool. I probably use it 5 times ever. Sean says, who is also new and welcome, does Sokoloshi just have Gascon's timing down? I don't think so. I don't. Maybe. Oh, now that happens, maybe. I think we would see a lot more fast touches. Like that was like that. If that had gone to Sokoloshi, then maybe.
First solo hit for Lamardo and a long time.
I don't think it's an issue of timing. I think Lamardo just can't get in past him.
In the final period, I'm afraid he's left it too late.
I think Lamardo just, like, it's not a timing issue, it's a distance issue. And wherever Lamardo goes, he can't get in far enough for Sokoloshi to not be able to deal with it. By going into preem or by doing this or by doing that.
Have a look at the video.
Oh, this is fun. I don't think I've ever seen the replay camera on the video before. I think it's 100% a touch. It's not a touch. Let's go back and see that one more time.
I'm not sure what for, actually. Unless it's ducking the head, but he was...
Is he calling for after the pass? I guess it was technically the second. At first is no. But he's not even passed. You can see when the light goes off. Oh, that's a missed call. I don't know. Don't know.
It's cold.
So I think we've seen more touches against Sakoshi's foot than any other single body part, including the chest. There was a Tagliario, I think Fiedler bout at one point that was just entirely fleshes and foot touches by Tagliario. And someone explained it to me that Fiedler's 6 is just unbeatable. Oh, that was really nice. Is that 8 over the top?
Talk about sort of uncommitted. He stepped into distance.
Nope, 6 over the top. Dangerous because he didn't actually take control of the blade. He just knocked it out of the way, which is usually where Sakoshi shines. Anyway, if your opponent is that good at 6s and high line parries, and then you only ever go low line, and it's an easy way to deal with it. Except then you're putting yourself in a disadvantaged state because high line's just better. Oh. Press, 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 press. High, low, high. And we're back to 7-11 when I thought Cimini could do it. And once again, we are cursed by the raised finals piece that is just impossible. It's really interesting that Sakoshi is not waiting
and that will do it.
to see what happens after the 6. He just knows Lombardo's going to go into 4. And he knows Lombardo's going to go into 4, and he just immediately takes the prep. Yeah, we're going to do Sakoshi now because he won. And then if we have time, we're going to do Shi because she won. So it's kind of just commentary on the winners and see how they went through the tournament. I've done this a couple of times before, and it works pretty well as far as finding something to comment on. You can build like a whole long Sakoshi narrative because we know it's happening already. Did Loyola win?
Olympic silver medalist focused in that match, and he's been focused all day long. It's very, very.
Oops. Well, we're doing Sakoshi anyway.
Nice look,
and now we're going to see how Loyola deals with it. I really thought Sakoshi won. Well, second place winner. Close enough. Next time I will check my stats. It's been a long day. Spoiler alert. Okay, it's just as many bouts of Sakoshi, and you get to see how Loyola deals with it. Also, Loyola got $5,000 for winning, and Caitlin Shi got nothing. So, write to your local FIU representative and complain. What's going on here? It's a fucking bout.
Spool cable became tangled up somewhere.
Yeah, for real.
And they're now right on the cusp of passivity call.
Alright, we're into passivity, which is fine. We're gonna pretend nothing happened the first minute of the bout. So it's kind of weird because Kaylin's a college fencer, so she's not right now allowed to get prize money. But so I don't know if that was what it was, but Phil Andrews is filing a formal complaint. And so that makes me think something is actually up with that. And anyway, you should write your local FIU representative and complain about having a World Cup in Qatar because of massive human rights violations and stuff. But that's probably that ship is probably not even in the harbor yet. So here in Loyola, we have a fencer that combines the lankiness of Semenenka, the Frenchness of Bardenay, and the en garde of Lamar de Gascon. Epée World Cup in the US one, probably when we get some decent fencers. No, I kid. There is a foil World Cup in DC and in Anaheim. Good wrist flick there from Loyola. There's that 4 flick. People are talking about it in the Discord. Because of reasons I haven't seen any of the other Loyola bouts. Another really good flick. So in a certain extent, no, never mind. I was gonna say those are touches other people aren't getting, but they're just different touches. I don't know. Do you want to, like, all our good fences are in Texas, and do you want to go to Texas in this? Do you want to go to Texas right now? I don't. Or New York, which is impossibly expensive. And then because, well, I guess they do it in DC, which is weird. 3-3. They're preem right back at Sokoloshi. This is the first time Sokoloshi's been down all tournament. So he can't, like, he's clearly in his comfort zone as far as being a defensive fencer and making them come to him. But you can see we stopped talking about it in the last couple of bouts, but Sokoloshi coming forward more now than he was in the first couple because he's got to make something happen. He's gotten hit 3 times, and there's a phenomenal flesh. See, that's a really good flesh. This is like the textbook flesh. Like how much wind up there is. It's boom, bounce, 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 flesh. There's no, he's not loading his legs. He's not winding up. It's just extension, push, push, and hit. And that's the perfect flesh. Yeah, Loyola is super flicky. You would think like the modern Italians like Di Veroli are very flicky. Loyola is also very flicky. Which is weird because I think the Belgians train in France. I know like Avi van Dingenen trains in France. I'd be surprised if Loyola doesn't also.
In this rematch, it looks very much well.
All right, 3-1.
Loyola wins this match, then they're just going to have to do it again.
This is how I watch fencing when I'm just watching it on my own. And then I forget there's a microphone in front of my face. And then if I block it with my hand, none of you can hear me. I'm not a professional streamer. I'm just a guy who likes fencing. Oh, no. Another miss. Wow. That's like 17 touches. Sokoloshi has just slid by. Something about that duck. Sokoloshi's just so good at getting people to miss over his shoulder. With like, and it's not even like Di Veroli Loyola about. You start laughing at how many times Loyola just hits the same flick. Sorry I missed it. Check it on my own time sometime. I gotta go back to the women after this. See, we were talking about how economical a fencer Sokoloshi is in the Lamar de Gascon bout. But there you see it where he's ducking, and it's not even like going into a full squat. He's dropping like 6 inches, but it's the perfect 6 inches to make everybody miss over his shoulder. Ooh, 90% hit rate from both of them that they missed. Oof, another foot shot. Wow. Oh my God, he got a double out of it. That was insane. How do you do that?
A little slow on the uptick.
And no replay. We gotta go watch that again. That was
Double.
he's like his tip has like grease on it. It's a
little
6
slow
flick from Loyola, and he wants it. He's set for it.
attack from
And as soon as the
somebody
6 comes, Sakoshi's just sliding it on the outside of the bell to score a double. That's insane. We talked about this at the very beginning, but Sakoshi's blade work and technique is just so precise. It's like his best attribute. Like, he's a really good fencer and everything, but like the blade work is so good. Ooh. That, I think, was the...
attack this time. And able to turn.
So I think, has Sakosli ever talked about why he doesn't wear a Hungary mask? Not that I'm aware of. Yeah, the Hungary mask is really cool. I really like it. The Polish mask is cool. Zawrotniak in the Polish mask, and he's the only one really who looks like this. Looks like he's wearing a blindfold, and he's fencing with a blindfold, because otherwise it's too easy. It's so cool. Loyola up 6. Anyway, so that 4 from a couple of touches ago. Loyola is holding on to the parry and continuing with Sakloshi's flesh longer than other people were doing. Other people were doing like this, and Sakloshi was going around it. Loyola did this and went around it, and that made Sakloshi miss that continuation. Oh my god, that was a good touch. Right on the wrist. So that's the adjustment there against somebody like Sakloshi who goes on parry so easily. Wow, that's a Sakloshi style touch. He's getting too close, and then Loyola goes straight in and punishes. Or nope, takes 8. Kind of got caught on the blade there.
5 seconds remaining, and we're going to wind down.
Phenomenal fencing from Loyola. He's doing really well. And to closely, definitely less comfortable on offense. Good distance there from Sakloshi. Long lunge from Loyola, and Sakloshi knows just how far back to go. Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah. The downside of the precision is that Loyola's like contorting his body in all kinds of weird ways. And Sakloshi's trying to hit him where he thinks he is, but because of the contortions, he's just not there. Like, that was 2 solid misses from Sakloshi before Loyola got that touch. Of course, then you can just go straight and hit him. But
few and far between. So much energy in Loyola right now.
oh, behind the back. That was cool. He's a cool guy.
Takes the blade.
What was that? Okay. Okay, maybe you were right, Levy, because that's the
Steps into that attack.
preem, and he's just pulling right off it, where Lamardo was getting caught.
And then hits him.
On the other hand, it's not like that's a small coupe. That would get you off if you were left-handed too.
I think that might make the highlights reel.
It's a little bit too close.
But
Yeah, actually nails every riposte. It's so impressive. Yeah. So one of the things we noticed is that people just miss a lot against Okoshi, and Loyola's hitting everything. Oh, and the straight flush from distance, where I would have expected Sakoshi to catch his arm, but
and he's hit with a counterattack.
just perfectly timed with the pullback. He can't quite get his point back in time.
Much like Kalen Sia with Nelly Difford. Loyola is just a counterattack. He's attacking into everything that Sokolosi does.
Got a card for turning the back. Almost definitely. Yep, card for turning the back.
Loyola lost control of his weapon.
And Sakoshi hits anyway. That was so good.
From Sokolosi, but
So look how close Sakoshi gets there. He knows Loyola's going to do this lean back contortion thing, and it goes almost all the way up to his foot. No, he was level.
Sokolosi asking for a video review.
Yeah, he's level. Maybe they'll give us a video again though.
It is asking if Loyola
Yeah. I think he's level.
passed when he landed the hit.
Yeah.
He had not.
Straight flush again from Loyola. Man. So Closhi kind of jumping at that one. He's not really expecting it.
Sokolosi steps into distance, and Loyola just
Oh my God.
this time
Flick to the wrist.
hard on the near target.
Loyola's in his bag. What does that say on his shoulder? Did somebody catch that? So a little bit less committal from Takloshi, where Loyola is counterattacking, and the duck again. Oh, that's such a good duck.
From Sokolosi before
Like a little bit of six to make your opponent go high, and then drop into the duck.
Oh.
Takloshi is racking him up right now.
Sokolosi and Loyola in 2023 with Sokolosi 15, Loyola 10. Ah,
Going for the foot. Takloshi says no. I learned that from Bardone. And now Takloshi got his last bunch of touches off just running him over, but he can't run him over anymore. He stopped, and now he just can't get the touch. Once the location gets more static, the advantage is way more for Loyola. Flicky, 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 poke, flicky, poke, poke, poke. This is really good commentary. Touch.
and there you have it. 2023, it was 15 to 10 in favor of Sokolosi. In 2025, it is 15-11 in favor of Nestor Loyola.
All right. That was following Nestor Loyola through the Doha Grand Prix. We definitely didn't watch all so closely because I messed up.
There will have to be a rematch to see
Who's going to stick around for the woman?
who claims.
I hope you all do. We're just going to go right into it. All right, Kaylin Shi Fences for Hong Kong and Notre Dame? Russian school. Kaylin, she. Oh my gosh, Notre Dame. Okay, yeah. She has a blog on YouTube, which is occasionally updated, called Kaylin Pokes. They're really good. You should go check them out. A lot less active in the women's game. She took off like 5 Estonians. I didn't realize. And we're going to come into non-combativity. Smaller distance changes in the women's game. Smaller opportunities in the women's games, so you get fewer big actions, crazy stuff. Not going to be a lot of wild backflips like Loyola was doing, but an extremely precise game. Where like a small mistake would be much more punishable, was much more likely to be punished in the women's game than in the men's. Normally I would be rooting for Rena Embrich as the lefty on the strip, but can't do that now. We're coming to second non-combativity. A lot of really patient fencing. No bouncing from Kaylin. Oh, there she goes. She's very set and flat. And wow. Explosive. Holy cow. Beat, nothing. Beat, nothing. Beat, and then go. And yeah, Embrich is just a little bit late to respond to that beat. And so Kaylin can just take it and flush all the way. Very direct action. Half step in back. Step in back. Step in back. Just a little bit too far, and a good counter from Embrich, kind of drawing out the initial the attack from Shi and then she's ready for it, so she can step back and punish it. You saw how close Shi came. You saw how close Kaylin came, and that's the kind of precision that you get in the women's game that you don't as much get in the men's game, or the actions are a lot bigger. This is just a particularly slow example of a women's bout. You can look in the background and see Song Sarah and Joan Bajura fencing, and they're much more active in bouncing. Shot to the foot, soft response from Embrich, but you saw Kaylin was ready for it. Long lunge. A little bit more bouncy and active now from Kaylin. Every time, Kaylin's so good at, like, it's 2 touches, whatever. But 2 touches from Kaylin where she pushes, and then as soon as she gets up one, she starts immediately retreating, and then Embridge scores, and that's twice so far. I'd really like to see Kaylin stay a lot more aggressive relative to what she's been fencing. Double. Blade presses, blade presses. That's how she got her first touch, if you remember, was press, beat, like beat, press, and then flush through the blade in 4. And it worked really well. I'd really like to see, I mean, this is honestly just really boring, but I'd like to see more happen. Getting a little bit more active now as we come on. Twenty seconds left, another red card, non-combativity. We're just gonna skip to see if there was a touch. Neither one of these fences are doing anything. Just waiting for mistakes. I get a double. Alright, 6-5 arena, and now maybe we're going to get some action. Once the fencer goes down in the 3rd period, I think they're going to start pushing a lot more. When they start pushing a lot more, things happen. They get down 2, they come up even. Still, nope, never mind. Still got the same. So this is like good strategy because largely it's been working for Kaylin. And she's got lots of time. I'd like to see more of those lunges, just as a like a take space kind of a deal. Like, I want to see her do that long lunge and just to push Embridge back, and then reset and then push her back a little bit more. That's our 5th double. Embridge still up by 1, so I wonder what she's gonna do. Kaylin's gonna do. I can't say she because it's like I think that's how you pronounce her last name, but it's just also sounds like I'm saying the pronoun she, and then it just becomes confusing. Bouncy, bouncy, bouncy. More active now. She's pushing, and there it is. What happened there? That was bouncy, bouncy push. Beat attack. See, I really think you could like try that safely and hit it like that a lot more frequently, but they're just more risk averse in the women's game. Our sixth double. Sounds about right. Kaylin's starting to feel herself. Yeah, see. It was 2-2. It was the first two. Kaylin got up and then went back. And then retreated. And now she's up and she's still pushing. And now she's just racking up the touches. It was like 8-9. It was 7-8 and now it's 12-9. And like I really think she could have done this the whole time. That's the little parry square dance. Alright, I actually have to go after this, so I will finish this bout and then I'll continue. This is the T8. Oops. Okay, so we're going to restart this at the T64 next time. Hey! Cruz Shembri, nice to see you. Welcome to the stream. You have awful timing because I'm about to log off. But thank you for tuning in. Thank you all for tuning in. I hope you had a good time. We followed Gurgly Tsukoshe all the way through to the finals because I thought he won. And then we saw Nasser Loyola actually win, but it was still fun. And we'll do this soon. We're going to do Kaylin Shi all the way to the end and start from the 64, not the 8.